microphone and he spills water on it.
Yeah. You spilled it at the town attorney's office the other day. Remember you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was up here. It was in your office.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I keep saying town attorney's office. It's only 2 years later. I'm still saying the town attorney's office. They are. We have to make room for the New York State champs. Make room for them. Okay, we're going to get the meeting started real quick. We're going to, so welcome to the Town of Orangetown Town Board meeting of November 30th, 2021. Town Clerk, on a roll call.
Councilman Dennis Troy. Present. Councilman Tom Devany. Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Vitari.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here. And we're going to have Esther Baylor's ask that Dennis Troy say the Pledge of Allegiance. And I always, we only got two more. Did I?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is that? Oh, that would have been cute. Okay. Well, you may have another meeting. Yes. Okay, so just a couple of announcements. One, what's it, Rob, the Rotary?
Yeah.
It's the Rotary's going to be hosting the Share Christmas and Holidays on Friday, December 10th, starting at 7 p.m. in Brunsdorf Park in Pearl River. All are welcome. The following public hearing is scheduled for December 14th at 7:05. Rockland Cider Works petition for special permit. Do you want to say that we just got new? For those who...
Yeah, it's not a petition for special permit. It's a petition for a zone text amendment. And actually, this afternoon, I just did receive a letter with a proposed change to it, which I circulated to the town board, and will be available.
At the town clerk's?
Yeah.
Okay. The town of Orangetown is going to be hosting another public workshop for the comprehensive plan on December 6th, which will be in person, and on December 7th, which will be via Zoom. Meetings will be identical, so you don't have to go to both, but you have the option of being in person or Zoom. So, and we have the website there if anybody has any questions. But now the moment we've been waiting for. We have a presentation here. So I have some certificates. This is the South Orangetown Softball Little League 12 under girls New York State champions, East USA. Regional champions and Little League Softball World Series participants. So we have certificates for all of you. I don't know what we got. We're gonna, I guess we can start with the coach. Up here, I guess we can. Okay, so wait, okay, so make sure I get both. Who's Joseph? That's Joseph. Okay, got it right, okay. That's me. That's you? Yeah. There you go. Okay. So we get the coaches first. Sweet. Okay, now I'm going to call the girls up. I know you guys want to help me out here.
Sure.
My eyes don't work, my fingers don't work, nothing's working anymore. Okay.
All right, Haley Arvidsson. Stella Bertolli. Alyssa Chiappa. Adriana Durio.
You guys are going to pitch whether you want or not.
Ava Handelman. Juliana Lorm. Emma McHugh. Savannah Nordstrom. Ella Pagels. Hannah Arvidsson. Last but not least, Bridget Linehan. No, just thank you very much for having us. Very special group of girls here. Girls that probably still hasn't soaking in, you know, how rare this is, and you'll probably have this on your resume till you know, the end of your work careers, and people always see it as something special. So just a really, really great special group of girls here. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
More than welcome. Anytime. I'll see you next year. Okay. Okay. They don't want to hear they don't want to stick around and hear the Verizon franchise presentation. Oh.
You want me to ask?
Is anybody here for the Verizon franchise agreement? No?
So why don't we just put it over?
Well, it's just a presentation anyway.
Right. I guess our signals got crossed. I thought he was going to be here tonight, but
Okay.
I'll follow up.
Okay. It's not up till next year though, right?
Yeah, we're negotiating the franchise agreement with Verizon, and as part of that, we have you know, public input, public outreach. So I will reach out to him tomorrow and set it up either for the 14th or in January.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We have a couple of discussion items. I don't know, Jeff, do you want to get up on this one? The first one, the PFK O'Connor Davies engagement?
So we received a new engagement letter from O'Connor Davies for our auditing services. They've asked for a 1.98% increase. Just by way of history, they haven't asked for an increase in over 10 years. So it's a little, basically $2,000 is the increase. So I am very happy with them. I would recommend to the board that we go ahead and agree to this engagement letter. It's for 2 years, 2% increase, but it's not 2% per year. It's 2% the first year, and then it's flat the second year. So.
Okay. Town Attorney's Office has it? Saw it?
Town Attorney's has it.
So I'll
It's
put it on for
also,
next.
I don't know if we could, I mean, we really start working with them at the end of December and certainly in January. So December 14th meeting is fine, but if there's no issues with the board, we could do it tonight as well. It's up to you.
I'll do the 14th, yeah. Yeah, yeah, just
Okay.
because it wasn't on, as was just on a discussion item.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Agreement with the Village of South Nyack for highway services.
Right. So this is actually, frankly, more for the South Nyack residents. What's happening is the Village of South Nyack, they're dissolving as of March 31st of 2022. However, their DPW is going to cease operations as of December 31st, so they're asking the town to enter into an intermunicipal agreement whereby the town will provide you know, highway-related services, snow and ice control measures, building-related services, you know, such as Eric Gorton provides for the town. So we have an agreement. As part of it also is the town plans on purchasing certain equipment from South Nyack. I know certainly the Highway Department was interested in a number of pieces of equipment, again, to help with the snow removal, particular to South Nyack, at least the area has some smaller trucks. So I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention and frankly for the public to know that that's what's going to be happening. I did send a draft version to South Nyack's attorney, and we're pretty much in agreement. We're just finalizing some numbers on the equipment. Jeff has worked with Highway and DME and Parks. There are a number of pieces of equipment that the town is interested in purchasing. And again, as of April 1, 2022, the town will be providing those services. For those first 3 months, there'll be a fee, if you will, between the town and the village, which will likely be offset one way or the other with the equipment purchase. And after that, it's part of the taxes for the residents of South Nyack, as they would ordinarily pay for if they were a village.
So the only issue I'm thinking about is it's only 2 employees, right? Yeah.
Right, it's correct. There's a labor.
There's a labor, and then there's the MEO2, whatever.
Correct.
And one's for parks and one's for highway. But, I mean, arguably, we have to do it the next meeting, right? Or we have to forward,
Yeah.
right? And I don't
Yes.
even know if the parks
Well, we'd have to
guy-
post. We could.
Yeah, we probably have to
Yeah,
look
it depends
into
on the
that.
timing. Yeah, we're going to have to look into that.
Okay, something to keep in mind. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Rob? No. Okay, so we can workshop the agenda items.
Rob, the police department is still going till March?
No, the police department they passed a local law to dissolve as of December 31st. We're still having discussions with South Nyack and with county personnel in terms of exactly what that means. Interestingly, the police department's a little bit of a different.
Changes day by day, by the way, too.
Police department's a little different because the town is obligated to, if a village in a town does not have a police department.
We don't have to pass anything for police, it's automatic.
Not necessarily. We may still on the 14th, and because we're also interested in equipment. The police department is interested in some of their equipment. They've been over there, and but right. Whereas highway services, a village can contract out with if there is a village, they would need to. They're obligated to provide highway services, so that's why they're entering into that agreement with us for those 3 months. With the police department, it's not the same. If there's a village that doesn't have a police department, the town's obligated to provide the police services. So again, those first that entire year will be covered by taxes, just as every other Orangetown resident in an unincorporated area of town pays taxes.
Real quick, Rob, how many police officers?
Right now, there's 3 officers who are still with the village that we're speaking about with the village and the county personnel about coming over.
Just so the board knows, there's a significant amount of equipment that, the highway department, the police, parks have indicated that they want. So what we've gone through is determine what obviously the purchase price was, but the real value, currently, depreciated value, based on the current market. But they need this equipment to be able to do the smaller streets for the highway department to plow there. They have different trucks than what we have. So the bottom line is that they're going to pay us for doing the plowing for the highway department, but we're buying their trucks, etc. The net is we're going to have to be at some point, once we agree on all these values, cutting them a check. I mean, it's going to be, and they'll use that to reduce their debt that they owe. And then going forward, we'll still have the legacy district for South Nyack, which will tax for all the retiree health care costs, which is included in this budget already. But that's how it's going to play out. It's a little bit complicated. We prorated the taxes as appropriate for the 9 months that everyone's going to be paying. So South Nyack residents will be paying that. They're adding roughly 5.7% to our assessed value. So at the end of the day, next year it'll be much cleaner. Everyone will get taxed the same thing. We've added almost 6% to our assessed value to cover, the total budget for the town. So how it's going to work. It's a little complicated. I'm sure there'll be questions from residents as we move forward.
And my office is going to be sending out a mailer. I think Brian Kenny said he's doing his own or whatever, yeah. Because the confusion is going to be that their bill in January is going to be much higher because they're not getting a village tax bill. I mean, in January will be much higher because they're not going to get a June tax bill, but you know they're going to get the bill and they're going to panic. So we're going to try and send a mailer out and kind of just provide important information, telephone numbers, things like that, that they, as a resource for them, so they.
Right, and we've been having basically bi-weekly meetings with representatives of South Nyack, the mayor, their attorney, and just, to try to make the transition as smooth as possible. So
Yeah.
that's
So it's
ramping
just
up
one
a
other
little
thing we
bit.
think of. It's like, oh, the garbage, oh, the recycling, oh, the, yeah. When you get down to the nitty-gritty. I just want to, before we start, Mr. Troy, that's why I was here for so many years, reminded me that I should mention the fire that took place up on Impel River over the last couple of days. I was there yesterday. I toured the site before it was taken down. I was there with Jane, the director of our building department. I just want to commend our employees to start. Jane was there. Our fire inspector, Jay Madusky, was there. Mike Anazone Jr. from the police department as the Office of Emergency Management was there. And, of course, our police officer was there. But I would just want to, thank, and we all want to thank, the volunteer firemen. They called in they called in help from all over. They had Westchester, they had Jersey, they had, it was down at Piermont. Piermont was there. They called in quite a few departments. They were there basically around the clock. So when I was there, I have to say they were still going at it, but they looked a little worn out. But anyway, sadly, part of the building had to come down to put out the fire. It was condemned anyway. It was, Jane took me on it, and we could see it crumbling as we were there. So anyway, I'm going to be putting in for some new shoes, but besides that, I'm okay. But yeah, so anyway, our thoughts and prayers are certainly with. There were 6 firemen that were different variations of. They got, I guess, carbon monoxide, high level of carbon monoxide. Thank God they're all fine. One was Jane's son; he's fine. But we just have to remember and thank them when we see them for what they do for all of us. So. Again, unfortunately, this shopping center is still not open. There's issues with getting power to the store. I don't know what the update on that is, but anyway. So I just want again, we don't want to just acknowledge everything that they did for us. So, anybody else? Good. Okay. Okay. So just going to go through our agenda items real quick. We have the opening the hearing on the New York Stretch Energy Code. So we actually did this not long ago. There was a glitch, I want to call it. There was something that we should have changed but didn't quite change, but we caught it before it got finalized. So this is basically just correcting something from the one we approved it just, I guess, not long ago. So that's the public hearing. We're going to open, close it, and hopefully amend to get it right. And that's good because that helped us get approved for NYSERDA, some money from NYSERDA. Okay, which brings us all the way to 6, which is the application for a water course diversion permit for Dominican College. That's 6 and 7 and 8. Then 9 and 10 are related to monies we're getting. One, I think this is both from the center, right? Elijah Reichlin Melnick, these are the money? Oh, we combined, okay. So 9 is to upgrade the fitness equipment at Veterans Memorial Park, which, I never noticed. I was at our dog park, which if you haven't been there and you have a dog, you have to visit. Everyone's very excited to be there, I'm telling you. And I noticed the equipment around the thing, first time I saw it. And Allison said to me about there being like an elliptical bike, and I thought she was nuts, and there it is. It's right there. It's like this elliptical bike. So, but it's outdated, and so we're going to be replacing it. And so this is money that was given towards it. And then 10 is the splash pad, which will be really fun. Hopefully, we can get it done next year. I don't know if I'm being too optimistic, but it's going to be over by the new playground, which should start in the spring, which is the all-inclusive. And the splash pad's going to be all-inclusive, too. So it's going to be fun. So that's basically just accepting it and saying that we'll pay any overage if there's any overage. 20,000 is the cap? Not Josie. Okay, number 11 is the This is the citizens, this is basically related to the dissolution and taking over South Nyack. Each of us is entitled to some money in the amount of $50,000 or not to exceed $50,000, basically to help offset some of the cost of the dissolution. So that's the resolution related to that. Number 12 is just amending the FEMA contract, which is already passed. This was, they were extending the dates they were going to be up at the soccer complex, but they're gone now, so. 13 is lend assistance to the Village of Suffern for their Christmas parade. 14 is appoint Lisa Porco to receptionist in the Highway Department effective November 1. Parks and Rec, 15, approval and assistance to St. Thomas Aquinas College Winter Wonderland. That's this Saturday for anybody who's looking for something to do. Carmen, you know the hours? 10 to 4, something like that, right? 10 to 4, something like that, give or take. It's free, and then they'll have lots of fun stuff to do, so anyway. 16, approve lend assistance to the Orangeburg Fire Department Holiday Parade. That's on Saturday, December 11th. 17 and 18 are the caretaker agreements for 2022 with a 2% increase for each. 19 is appoint Rochelle Delisser to a clerk position in the Parks and Recreation. This was discussed, I guess, at budget time and everything and approved. 20 is approval and assistance to the Pearl River Rotary Share Christmas and the holidays, Friday, December 10th. That's what we started out with. Number 21, the Traffic Advisory Board is to install a streetlight at the intersection of Kevin Drive and Cedar Avenue in Orangeburg. And then the audit. Okay. On that note, anybody have anything? Nope. Ready for public? Okay. Can I get a motion to open the? Well, we could, we could do the public comment first. Don't, I have
Make
enough.
a motion, open public
Yeah,
comment.
don't confuse me. I get confused enough. Okay. Okay, so Paul made a motion, second. Dennis Troy, all in favor? Aye. Okay. So the first person we have signed up is Susan McWhinney.
So this is a overhead view from Google Maps of the Ben Houghton Farms property. You can see the little area in purple was the only area that is part of the cidery. You can see that it's all outside. The entire cidery is outside. Fire pits go at night. So this is all outside. That's the cidery, and our property is immediately next door. This is what.
Fireworks is open year-round.
Oh, I don't want.
Spring, summer, and the first part
Can I
of
turn the
fall,
volume off on this?
Monday to 7 from 3 to 8. On Tuesdays through Saturdays, 6 from 12 to 8. Some Sundays from 7 days.
Shouldn't have.
Business going on.
Thanks. Okay, that's okay. So you can see, this is what happens when there are bans and food trucks. Currently, they're supposed to be closed. They're not supposed to be open. They've been laying low. They are open every single week. They've been open, but we don't get this kind of traffic because there are no bans or food trucks, and there are very few people because they're not advertising currently. So this is an average Saturday. This wasn't a holiday. There was nothing special. There was no big festival. This was just a day with the bands and food trucks. They're normal, normally what happens, and this is what happens with the traffic. It's a little bit hard to see, but there are pedestrians crossing all through this. At this point, I think there's at this point, a baby carriage comes out and tries to cross. We have a lot of people just standing in the streets. This is, for those of you, anyone who hasn't been here, this is a blind corner, and just right in front of us, there was a horrible accident a couple of years back where a minivan was rear-ended after it had to stop on this blind corner, and somebody came around. It's very hard to get in or out of your driveway when it's like this. All of us have had difficult times. This is coming around Blauvelt. Despite what people have said to the contrary, there is no one guiding traffic that we have ever seen. This is the back lot This is how full it gets, and then the traffic goes down Sickletown, down Blauvelt in both directions. Pedestrians are pushed into the walkway. We've got people with a carriage having to walk in the middle of the lane. This is what happens at night. The production facility in the back is very small. They can't do the work in there, so they bring out a forklift and they do the work in the back, which is immediately behind our house. So if we try to sit outside after all of the cidery stuff is closed for the day, this is what we get to watch. So again, this is right on our property line. That's our experience every day when this happens. Van Houtens are asking to be open 7 days a week. So thank you for your time. That's that. And
Thank you.
thank you, guys.
Next,
Can you turn it off from there, Allison, or do I need to do something to it? Thank you.
Gerard Goggin.
Can I shut this for a second? Is that okay? Yeah, just put myself down. Thank you very much. Hi, Jerry Goggin here, 66 Sickletown Road. I'm Susan's partner. So I got a quiz for you tonight. What do these things have in common? Pearl River Farm Market, Rockland Great Farm, North Shore Farms, Farm Stores, Royal Farms, Van Houten Farms, and Hickory Farms. You guessed it, none of them are farms. Yes, Van Houten Farms is not a farm. It doesn't grow anything. It buys its vegetables elsewhere, often from the same places as ShopRite buy them. How do I know this? Because I know the guy who delivers to them. Now, on Yelp, Van Houten Farms also describes itself as a garden center, not a farm. Nothing is grown there. But we're being told it's very important that we preserve the farm heritage of Rockland. I agree with that. The problem is this is not a farm. Now, the only part of it that really is like a farm is the stables, which are in the back of the property, the lower part of that diagram you were looking at. There's two businesses in there. One of them is Silver Rock Stables that runs a horse boarding and riding center. And the other one is Infinity Equine Therapy, which is an equestrian therapy program for children and adults who benefit from that particular kind of therapy. At a recent town meeting, Elizabeth Van Houten stood up and talked about our stables. And I'm really curious about in what respect these are her stables, because she doesn't rent the property. Jim Van Houten rents the property to Silver Rock Stables, as he has for about the last 25 or 30 years. She's played no hand in it. She plays no part in managing it. Those are two completely different businesses. She doesn't ride there, to my knowledge. And yet, RCW has had a really bad impact on both these businesses. Why? Because with the advent of the kind of crowds that you see here, and the noise when people get intoxicated, we've had several people thrown off horses. As you know, horses are pack animals and they're very easily spooked. This was not a problem when there was just the garden center there. One woman broke her wrist really severely. An experienced rider got thrown off her horse. Another woman who is a champion, a jumping champion earlier in her career, was thrown off a horse there. A horse ran away with a child on it. These are the kind of problems that RCWs, and this is paradoxical because they're claiming to be here to save the farm. But the part of the Van Houten's property that is most a farm, which is the stables, is the one that is actually getting most adversely affected by RCW. They know this. They've done nothing about it. And in fact, if you look at their plans, they've stated, we want to bring 350 people in here, which means probably 175 cars, which, by the way, there is not room for in that back lot. And in that back lot, even as you saw it, there's supposed to be a fire lane through it, which, according to Orangetown law, is supposed to be 30 feet wide. What happens if the stables catches fire? You're going to have a whole load of horses die because the fire trucks won't be able to get back there. So one more thing I wanted to say, which was we spoke to the church again, and the secretary there told us that she sent a letter to Michael Atchison and Darren Van Houten stating that the church would not be allowing the Van Houtens or any of their patrons to park in the church parking lot. We foiled that, so we'll have evidence of that as well. You, of course, are free to talk to Michael Atchison. And yet I note that this claim is still being made on the submission from Van Houten Farms. I just want to drive home here the character of the people you're dealing with. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who's here that wants to speak that did not sign up? Sharon?
Good evening. In light of what had happened in Pearl River a few nights ago, I come from,
Can you please state your name?
I'm sorry, Sharon Van Houten, 551 Blauvelt Road in Blauvelt.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I come from a long line of first responders. I've been in a first responding family my whole life. My great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father. My husband is a Pearl River fireman for over 40 years. My 2 sons are Pearl River firemen for the last 5 years. My 2 brother-in-laws have been Pearl River firemen, and I also have brother-in-laws and nephews and other family members in 2 or 3 different police departments in Rockland County. So I come from a long line of first responders. In saying all that, my heart is heavy being here tonight because of what had happened. And I also work for the Pearl River Fire District, so I know many of the members that have been affected by this, and as well as a lot of the people whose businesses have been lost. I kind of feel funny even being here again, still trying to get help for me and my neighbors regarding RCW and the ongoings of what's going on at Van Houten Farms. At one of the meetings, someone came up and spoke and said that RCW was their dream job. Their dream job. Well, my home is my dream home. My husband and I built that from the ground up over 30 years ago. We put in a beautiful addition 8 years ago, which we absolutely love. We built in this area because of the location, so we could remain in the Pearl River Fire District, so they could remain as firemen. We needed to be close. And the surroundings. The surroundings were rural surroundings, very quiet, very peaceful, very beautiful. A home is a place where a family comes to make memories, to celebrate our happy moments and achievements, our birthdays, our christenings, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, and even to celebrate some sad moments. Our home is where we find comfort and love, a place that is a safe haven, where we can decompress and escape from all the worries of the outside world, a place where we can be comfortable and just be ourselves. We spend a lot of time as a family in the spring and summer in our backyard, enjoying our family barbecuing and swimming in our pool. But for the last 2 years, our safe haven, our happy place has been compromised. We are begging you. We have come to you for help. We have been here week after week, showing you what these people have been doing. Their lies, how illegal what they're doing, no permission, no permits. We, our neighbors, we are asking and begging for help. Please don't do this to us, because you're just going to push us out. We feel like we're being choked. We feel like we're being violated. And we could no longer enjoy the comfort of the surrounding areas of our own home. So I ask you for our help. Please help us. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here who has not spoken that would like to have a chance to speak? Does anybody have any questions for, is anybody here for Sideworks? Oh, okay. This is the to speak, you mean? This is the public portion, you can speak about anything. Yes, yeah, okay. Right, so there is going to be another public hearing on the water course diversion. Yeah, so you want to talk about that, you can wait. Okay, then you can wait, but right, or you can speak about whatever you want to do. Okay.
As long as nobody else wanted to speak on that? I guess nobody, okay. Okay, so my name is Pat McNamee. I'm a resident of Chestnut Oval in Orangeburg. I know I'm speaking about the Dominican College's their watercourse diversion permit that's before you tonight. This afternoon, I forwarded an email to all the planning board members. I know, Mr. Troy, you said you received it. So I just wanted to state for the record our opposition to Dominican's current stadium proposal. It will have a severe detrimental effect on the quality of life on the residents of my neighborhood, and I'm just urging the board members not to grant approval of tonight's permit because it's part of their whole plan submitted by Dominican. And I just also have a copy of the letter I attached to the email. I was just wondering if you guys had seen the letter that I
You
sent.
can, do you have copies there?
I do. I have
Okay,
copies
you
for
can,
everybody.
you can hand them over here, and if there's, Rob can pass them down to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Joe, okay. Oh, yep, go ahead. It was attached.
I figure I'll speak now as well. My name's Tina Adino. I live at 87 Chestnut Oval in Orangeburg. I'm also speaking about Dominican College. But before I do that, I just wanted to say through the agenda, I, as a parent and a community member for many, many years here, thank you for all of the renovations that you're planning for Veterans Park. I know my son has grown up loving the playground. I can't wait for the ADA accessible, and I can't wait. We were talking about it today at work about the splash pad. So, you know, kudos to you guys for doing the things that we're hopeful for. So, you know, great. I don't have a dog, but I heard that that's wonderful too.
It's the place to be, you should get a dog.
I saw it. I just wanted to say, Dominican College, I have lived behind Dominican College for over 22 years, and we feel we've been really good neighbors, both ways. We've been following the stadium build that they're trying to do since the beginning, and we went to the planning board meeting. We've been to both planning board meetings and just kind of following along. The scope and sequence of the size of what they're planning to do is not just a renovation. It's a brand-new field. It's a tremendous footprint in a very small space. What I understand happened at the planning board meeting, which was over 4 hours long, was that many of the board members had strong reservations about pushing it forward and granting the preliminary approval, but they were granting it on the basis knowing that you could not hear the watershed permit or look at the permit or talk to Dominican unless they were granted preliminary approval. So we kind of saw that under duress, a lot of the planning board members agreed to do so. I would just ask that when you're thinking about it tonight and thinking about the watershed, that it's just in the wrong spot. I know the watershed doesn't have necessarily anything to do with my concern, but just that there are a lot of neighbors that are really very concerned. We've been working with Dominican, we've tried. There were a lot of planning board members that gave alternate suggestions of possible places where they could place things, and it's almost falling on deaf ears. Where Mrs. Van Houten said about the quality of life issues, that's exactly what we're going to experience. Our backyards, we hear the happy noise right now, but they're planning to rent that out. So it will be summertime. It'll be after dark. You know, one of the conditions were no lights at all. That was something that we were adamant about, the planning board was adamant about. They put a condition in there that they won't have temporary lighting. I'm just not convinced that it's going to stay that way. I feel like that once they put the electrical in, then years down the road, they're going to put the lights, and they're going to be 80-foot poles in my backyard. So I just want everybody to just take that into consideration, that there are young families, first responder families that work night shifts, and, you know, I just appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there anybody else who wants to speak? Again, we're in the public portion, so you could speak about anything. No? Okay, can I get a motion to close the public portion? Jerry moved,
And I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, should we open the first, oh, we're right on time. Okay. Okay, so can I get this open to public hearing? This is on amending the building code regarding the stretch code. Motion? Jerry? Second?
And I'll second
Paul? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so no one signed up to speak on this. Is there anybody who would like to speak regarding our amendment to the to the building code regarding the New York Stretch Energy Code? Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Dennis Troy moved to close. Second. Paul Valentine, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Gotta be quicker there. Okay, number 5. So amend Resolution 415, which is from October 26th. We're going to amending the Chapter 5 so as to adopt the New York Stretch Energy Code 2020. Rob, is there anything we need to just I know Jane explained it to me.
I don't know if you want to ask her anything about it, or?
What's the difference?
I think it was, well,
It's just some language, right?
right.
Yeah.
And we realized it like even before it went up to the state. So it was like, yeah, Jane, you just want to give a quick. In English, please.
Good evening. Yeah, very simple, actually. So when we drafted the local law, we used a model local law that NYSERDA provided with this whole program. And right as you guys were adopting it last time, we were told that there was an error in their model local law and it conflicted with the actual state code. So we had to put that conflict back into our law when we adopted so that we could be eligible for the grant money. If we didn't do it their way, then we're not going to be eligible for the grant money. So it never went up to the state.
Right.
And it
The
all
court
happened
reporting got
within
set up.
hours of you guys adopting it last time. We got the email from NYSERDA saying, this is the text that has to be amended. So they were kind of behind the 8 ball. And in fact, it wasn't until last week that they released the amended text to everybody. We were the first ones to actually get it. So that's all this is. It's just
Okay.
language of the adoption.
Okay, sounds good to me. Okay. That's a lot of language here. Okay. So can I get a motion to amend Resolution 415 to make the changes to the New York stretch code? Dennis Troy. Jerry Bottari. All in favor?
Aye.
Are we good on the time with this one, too? 10 minutes early.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, you want to do the rest and then come back?
Okay, we'll come back. Okay.
Go slow.
I'll go, okay. Okay, I'll go really slow. How often does that have? 7? Okay. So we're up to 9. Okay, this again is for the upgrading of the fitness equipment over at Veterans Memorial Park. Basically accepting the money and say that we'll cover any shortage up to $20,000. Can I get a motion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
My favorite one?
This is great.
This is great. It's going to be fun. Again, this is for taking the grant money, the SAM grant money, towards the splash pad at Veterans Memorial Park. Can I get a motion? Yes. Jerry Bottari, second. Dennis Troy, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, you know what? It's going to be all inclusive, so you can use your walker and you could go out there and you could.
Don't be bumping my grandkids, Dennis.
I got to bust on him. He's going to have one more meeting. I'm not going to be able to do it after that. You know? Only kidding. I'm only kidding. Okay. Number 11, again, this is for the what they call the Craig Grant, which again is to $50,000 to offset the cost of the dissolution of South Nyack. So can I get a motion? Dennis Troy to submit the grant. Second. Jerry Bottari. All in favor?
Aye.
If they were to take Rob's hourly amount of time he spends on this thing,
No,
we'd
it's
be
not
like
bad,
3
yeah.
times that much. Gonna be happy when that's done.
Yes.
Okay, number 12 is an amendment to the FEMA contract, which again is already done, but it was to extend it to November 20th, 2021. Motion. Jerry Batari, move. Second. Paul Valentine, all in favor? Aye. Allison's favorite word, nunc-pro-tunc. She learned that, and she likes using that now. 13, approve lend assistance to the Village of Suffern for the Christmas parade, which was really the use of barricades. Can I get a motion? Jerry Batari, second. Dennis Troy. Oh, sorry. He'll go next. Paul was first? Okay. Paul wins. All in favor? Aye. Appoint Lisa Porco to receptionist in the Highway Department effective November 1 as of grade 3, step 1. Motion. Dennis Troy, move. Second. Paul Valentine, all in favor? Aye. Parks and Rec, approve lend assistance to the St. Thomas Aquinas College Winter Wonderland, which is this Saturday, December 4th. This is for use of the showmobile. Did I hear somebody say they, Jerry Batari? Second.
I'll second.
Paul Valentine, all in favor? Aye. 16, approval and assistance to the 2021 Orangeburg Fire Department Holiday Parade on Saturday, December 11th. They've kind of set out there what they're getting, the porta potties and the, what else? Okay. Paul, Jerry Batari, all in favor? Aye. 17, approved caretaker agreement for the Nike Park to Louis Caputo. Motion. Dennis Troy, second. Jerry Batari, all in favor? Aye. 18, approve the caretaker agreement for the Henry Borst Park to Brian Edwards. Dennis Troy, second. Paul Valentine, all in favor? Aye. 19, appoint Rochelle DeLisser, I'm saying her name right, to am I saying it right, DeLisser? To a position of clerk effective December 1 in Parks and Recreation. Motion?
Make a motion.
Paul Valentine, move. Second. Dennis Troy, all in favor? Number 20, approve lend assistance to the 2021 Pearl River Rotary Share Christmas and the Holidays for Friday, December 10th. Motion? Dennis Troy. Second. Paul Valentine, all in favor? Not done yet, we got to slow it down. Number 21, approve the installation of a streetlight at the intersection of Kevin Drive and Cedar Avenue in Orangeburg. Motion? Jerry Batari, move. Dennis Troy, second. All in favor? Okay, I guess we have time.
The Energy Performance Contract. Number 4, NYPA, $21,000 for the Streetlight project. Number 5, Department of Civil Service, $738,000 for healthcare benefits. The second warrant had one voucher for $4,700 and was for Pearl River A Club Senior Club expenses. The third warrant had 156 vouchers for $1.2 million. Items of interest, number 2, American Field Services, $28,000 for the dog park fencing. Number 4 and 5, the applied golf contracts. Number 7, Capasso, $74,000 for recycling. Number 8, Chaparino and Sons, $54,000 for the milling and paving of Henry Street. Number 10, Dell Marketing, $26,000 for a security suite for IT. Number 13, Environmental Construction, $65,000 for Bright Lane emergency repairs. Number 14, Global Mantello, $44,000 for fuel. Number 16, Gorman Brothers, $190,000. That's for chip and seal work for the Highway Department, that's bonded money. Number 24, the Comptroller, $27,000 for justice fines. And number 26, Tilcon, $233,000 for highway materials. Any questions on the audit?
Nope, nope, okay. Can I get a motion to accept the audit? Dennis Troy, second. Jerry Batari, all in favor?
Aye.
What are we going to talk about now?
If you want to kill a minute or two, I had sent an email about approving a Westlaw contract that I had just gotten.
You want to do that now, you mean?
Yeah, would you mind? Right now, we pay about $2,700 a month, and it would be $2,800 a month for the next 2 years. It's off of a state bid contract, and
Do I still get access?
we
to it?
use it quite a bit. You can use my password. No, you, we'll let you use it, yeah. So, good. If
Okay.
if nobody has an
You wanna,
objection, I'd ask for a resolution on that. I'll provide the language to Rosanna tomorrow, but basically to approve extending a Westlaw agreement for 2 years.
Okay. Anybody have an objection to putting it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need it.
Is it expired? The agreement's done, or you?
No, the agreement's done not until March, but this was a rate that if we did it
Oh,
now.
I remember the routine they used to play.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you don't do it now, you know, blah, blah.
We had to act
I
fast.
call that bluff every time, Rob.
We had to
It never
act
works.
fast.
Okay, so you're gonna, what are we voting? Okay, Dennis is voting, motion to approve the extension of Westlaw. Okay, so Dennis moved it. Oh, there was whoever, somebody seconded it, doesn't matter. Pick us, whoever. All in favor? Aye, okay. Okay, well, that's pretty close. We are having executive session, right? Yeah, I think we're good. We're close enough. Okay, let me find it here. Number 6, right? It was 6? Right, we're good, Rob? You can open up in like 3 minutes, right? No?
As long as you don't close it.
Okay. Okay. Go slow in opening it. Okay, can I get a motion to open the public hearing for the Dominican College application for a watercourse diversion permit? Dennis Troy, second. Jerry Vitari. All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, Jane, is Jane here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could maybe explain
Yeah.
what it's for and the status from where it is at planning board.
So Dominican College made an application before the planning board to install a turf field and track.
Leave a speech?
That's okay. And as part of that, and hearing everybody's comments, they've looked to shift the field over to try to accommodate some of the comments. And by doing that, it gets closer to an existing stream, so they have to divert the stream in order to accommodate the new plan. And the planning board granted preliminary conditioned upon them receiving approval of the stream diversion permit. Is that clear?
So we're only discussing today moving the stream. We have nothing to do with the rest of that. It's
That-
all in front of the planning.
That is correct. You can approve the stream if you see fit. They still have to go through the land use process and all the board reviews.
And the
Now,
only reason they're moving the stream, I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
is because they moved the field?
That's correct. From the original application, they shifted the field over, and by doing that, a corner of the field intersects with the existing stream. So the diversion is actually just to create, and the applicant's here, but to create, the stream will actually go under the corner of the field. So technically, that's a diversion. Once you disrupt the stream, it's called a diversion.
So I know that there's other people looking at this, because there's no way they're trusting this group of people up here to say it's okay to divert a stream. So I mean, like, does the county look at it, county planning, does the DEC, who looks at it to decide that it's,
The planning-
somebody must have to look at it, because,
Yes, I believe, were all the letters sent over, Rob? I think they were, yeah.
Yeah.
So all the county, and anybody, any group that had to look at it has already looked at it and provided comments. And nobody had any significant issues with it, and the planning board didn't either. And those letters should be in your package. And that's, they would not have received preliminary if there was a major issue with this request.
Where does the stream continue? It's nothing like, that's going to cause a problem downstream by diverting it?
Well, I'm not a drainage engineer, but we
But I
do
mean,
have our
has
engineer. It shouldn't.
Someone has looked at that, right?
Yes, right. So all they're doing is piping it. Right now, it flows freely. And what they're going to do is pipe it so that it just goes under the corner of the track. So it's starting and ending in the same spot, but they have to just contain the water so that they can build over it. And again, the drainage agency has looked at it, our town engineer has looked at it, our drainage consultant has looked at it, and all of their letters are in your package. And nobody brought up any significant issues.
Okay, thank you.
okay, Brenda, yes.
Good evening. We're here prepared to answer any questions that you have. We have our drainage engineer here. Basically, a proposal for a project to convert the existing field over there to a turf field started more than a year ago. We appeared before the planning board. There were a number of neighbors who came out and voiced some concerns. Big concern being the plan was to install lights so that the field could be used, after dark. There was a lot of opposition to that. The college considered all of the comments that were made with respect to screening, removal of trees, putting additional trees to help screen it from the neighbors. We went through a large process of improving upon the plan, and we came back to the planning board, I think it was November the 10th, according to the resolution. The planning board has appointed itself lead agency under SECRA, State Environmental Quality Review Act, which somebody must do. They are now the decision maker with respect to approval of the overall project. As part of that project, it required a diversion, a permit to divert the stream. And I have Mr. Matt Mullen here who can go into greater detail with it, but I'm advised it's an intermittent stream. It means it doesn't flow all the time. Where the flow is coming from is from a drain pipe from Carlton Court, I believe it is, which is to the south. So in other words, the college is accepting drainage from neighboring properties. It goes into this intermittent water course, and it eventually works its way to the front of the college's property where the pond is. So basically the college is dealing with the drainage coming from other parties. As part of the turf field project, this stream diversion permit was needed, and it's just a very small portion of it. It's a very small portion of the project. The planning board, we did have a lengthy planning board session on November the 10th. Eventually, as I say, the planning board appointed itself lead agency. They considered all of the comments and concerns raised by all of the involved agencies and all of the neighbors, and ultimately they issued what's called a negative declaration under SECRA, which said, while there may be some small impacts on the environment and the neighboring, surrounding areas, those impacts have been mitigated correctly by the applicant, by the proposed steps to be taken, and therefore we issue a negative declaration, and then they issued a preliminary approval of the turf field project. Again, the lights have been removed. The planning board had several items that they asked us to incorporate into the plan. I know, Mike is here from the planning board. There were a number of issues. We agreed to all of them. The engineers are right now incorporating those changes, including enhanced screening and a number of other things that the planning board requested. So you have, I believe, a memo from both the Town Department of Environmental Engineering and Management, and also, I believe, from the Building Department, and I believe the Planning Board, as part of the resolution, recommended the issuance of this permit by this board. So again, I have Mr. Matt Mullen here, who's prepared to go into much greater detail about this. I know Sister Mary Eileen and Sister Kathleen are here also from the college, and several other people from the college are here as well, too. So if the board has any questions or concerns or would like to hear more about this, we're prepared to present more information, as much as you may want.
Want to hear from the public first?
That's it.
You want to hear from the public first?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the two ladies you had, do you want to speak in the public hearing on this? You spoke earlier? Pat and Tina? Yeah, you can speak again if you want to speak again on the public hearing. Okay, okay. I just, you signed up, so I didn't want to just, whatever. Presume. Okay. You could, would you mind coming up? Just come up, yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
Hi, I'm one of the neighbors on Chestnut Oval, and I wasn't at the...
Please state your name.
I'm Angela Badillo, sorry. Don't know what the...
In Orangeburg, Angela?
Orangeburg, correct, 67 Chestnut Oval. So I wasn't at the November 10th meeting, so I'm not exactly sure what occurred, but I was at all the prior meetings and the Zoom meeting quite a while ago. And our concern was mainly the lights, and I don't know if this is the correct, place to bring it up, but we're very concerned that the lights are off the table now, but that at some point they will go back on the table. And what is Dominican proposing to do? Are they going to rent it out? Are they going to have it, going all day long? Our backyard is right up against it, and it's quite loud. They're playing the music a lot louder now. So we're just concerned about the quality of life in the area, and just, it appears that there are a lot of trees that are coming down, and how tall are the trees going to be? Are they going to be creating a buffer for noise and for view, for what you see there? So, and I'm not quite sure where it's moved to. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's moved more towards Carlton Road. I'm really not sure. But really, we just didn't want it to be turned into a big commercial operation that, we'd have a lot of noise in our backyard all day long, weekends, evenings, There are people with young children, with babies that work different hours, and it would affect the quality of life. So we just want to make sure that what is allowed to be done there. Are they allowed to rent it out? I'm not quite sure what is allowed, what is going to be allowed there. So that's really the comments I have. I don't know if anybody can answer those questions.
No, we don't normally get into a
Okay.
back and forth, but, you're free to either email us. It sounds, and then we may address it. It sounds like you kind of mixed a couple questions in there. It sounds like some is zoning planning, what they can do. Unfortunately, the hearing tonight is really related to the diversion of the water course.
Okay.
So all those issues you discussed are planning board.
Gotcha. So basically,
And it sounds like they will be back before the planning board. They just got preliminary. So there will be
So
plenty of opportunities
there
to.
will be more. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Sure.
Who's going to maintain that pipe? That property?
So somebody had mentioned before about the planning board granting preliminary approval. I was at that meeting along with my neighbor Tina, and there was a lot of discussion about how many, the reservations that the planning board had about moving this forward. At that time, they said the only reason, because they were moving it and granting preliminary approval, was because if they did not, this permit that is before you right now, it couldn't happen. They were going back and forth that night saying, this permit that is before you now could not happen if they did not grant preliminary approval.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
I see a head nodding with you that they agree.
Yeah, no, they did, because there was a lot of discussion. They went into executive session because there was a lot of the planning board members had great reservations about moving this forward. And the only reason they did is because this was before you tonight. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else here who has not spoken who would like to speak on this matter? Come on up.
Hi there. Ray Fusco, 34 Iroquois Avenue. I'm curious, just from a process perspective, it sounds like the secret process was followed. And so I'm curious if the planning board did a formal EIS, and if that environmental impact statement was done. Did New York State DEC weigh in on that, and what that process was?
There you go. Good. Yeah, you should come up to the,
The issuance of a negative declaration under SECRA by the planning board, which is the lead agency, basically says we don't need to see an EIS, an environmental impact statement, that would be a positive declaration. If they had issued a positive declaration, that usually goes towards an environmental impact statement. Mr. Magrino, of course, is free to confirm what I'm saying, but I think I've summarized the process correctly. The secret process was done correctly.
yeah, was it a long form EAF, a short
Yes.
form? Okay. So that's a long form environmental assessment form that the planning board reviewed and
Yes. It
as
was a
part of
long
the secret
form, right?
process.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, all of the potential environmental impacts were dealt with by the planning board, and they moved it forward. They granted a negative declaration and preliminary approval. I'm not going to characterize all that went on at the board. I don't think the board would have taken those steps unless they actually believed in the negative declaration and the preliminary approval that they passed.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here who wants to speak that has not had an opportunity to speak? Okay.
I just want to
Understand it.
clarify in my own head. So if they moved it forward, not so that it would come here, if they didn't move it forward, it wouldn't come here. So it has to come here if it's moving forward. So they didn't move it forward just so it could come here, so they moved it forward because they thought it was a good project, and this is part of the process.
It's a good project.
I don't know that we can
If
figure
it's-
out what the
It's a
planning
good
board was thinking.
project if it's moved. In order to move it, they need the water diversion.
Right, okay.
Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Which comes first, the chicken?
Well, it's part of it. It can't come here until
It's part of it,
until
right.
the secret is done, and that was done by the planning board.
Can I just ask you a question?
And then it's a ministerial
When
thing
did
coming
this
here.
process come up that the town board is
It-
passing? This? It sounds like
It's in the town code,
our code?
Yes.
That could be changed.
I suppose, yeah.
We have that, yeah, exactly. We have that new committee we formed with all the experts in it. They should be looking at this. What do I know?
Well, in all seriousness, the experts did. It was set
I know,
out.
I
We
know.
have all those items. So it's just, it's, as I said, it's, I don't want to say ministerial matter, but when it comes here, planning board's already looked at it, county planning,
But
county
again,
drainage.
our only input on this is whether they can put a pipe over a short piece of the creek or not. The rest of it is all before the planning board.
Right.
We're not, okay.
Yes.
Questions on the pipe? The pipe going under, I guess, where the stream is going in. I know this was a lot of rain that we had recently, but it usually flows down into the pond in the front on Western Highway, across Western Highway into the pond on the other side. If it backs up, and how much water comes through there normally? Was the pipe big enough to handle it so it doesn't back up there?
The good thing about this is they now are requiring review, of a 100-year flood. Given climate change and things like that, bigger and better is required. So it will be an improvement of the water course. But Mr. Matt Mullen is here. Matt, introduce yourself and just answer some questions.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Mullen. I'm a civil engineer with H2M Architects and Engineers. So the water course in question, the primary source of water for this is stormwater runoff from Carlton Road. There's about a 36-inch corrugated metal pipe that runs from Carlton Road onto the Dominican College property through this drainage ditch, ultimately into a stormwater detention pond on the college property. Eventually, it overflows into Spark Hill Creek on the eastern side of Western Highway. The pipe that they're saying is really not so much pipe, it's a culvert. So we have a 36-inch pipe conveying stormwater runoff from a residential subdivision onto Dominican College, and the culvert that we're putting in is approximately 3 feet by 5 feet inside dimensions. So the capacity of that is approximately 5 times that of the corrugated metal pipe. So basically, if it'll handle 5 times as much water that would be coming off of Carlton Road.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think, anybody else want to speak? Okay, I think we got to go. Okay, Dennis made a motion to close.
I second it.
All in favor? Okay. So I'm just going to speak for myself real quick. I hear your concerns, ladies. I think the problem from our point is that we're not the right board to address them to. Again, from what I've heard about the pipe, and that's what we're approving here tonight, I don't have any reason to say no. But they do have preliminary, and I'll just say this, because we do have one member of our planning board here. I think our planning board does a great job. I think they listen to the public. It sounds like they've already taken the lights down, or whatever the case may be. So keep doing what you're doing. They listen to you. And on that note, I'm going to have to vote yes for this, though. So anybody else want to say anything, or? No? Okay, so on that note, number 8, a motion to approve the Dominican College application for a water course diversion permit? You moving it? Dennis Troy moving it, second?
I'll second it.
Paul Valentine, all in favor? Oh, that's it, right? You did the rest already? Okay. Okay. I almost went to vote again. Okay, we are going to be going to an executive session to discuss proposed acquisition, sale, lease of real property, when publicity might affect the value, and some personnel matters. We are going to be adjourning. We have a couple of adjournments. Lorraine Foley, the resident of Tapan, Francis Liddy, resident of Pearl River, Rosalie Majewski, mother of Orangetown Chief Fire Inspector Dave Majewski, and Seymour Winman, a resident of Blauvelt. So, can I get a motion to go into executive session? And, okay, Dennis Troy, Jerry Batari, all in favor?
Aye.